respective squads reason to pop the cork on some bubbles, others were left ruing what might have been. Here are our picks for this week's edition of Winners and Losers. Winner, Max Verstappen. Verstappen is becoming a near unstoppable force in Formula 1, the Dutchman securing his 6th win in 8 races, and 4th on the bounce, with a commanding performance in Montreal. It was his 41st career victory, tying him with the late, great Ayrton Senna, and Red Bull's 100th Grand Prix triumph, making them only the 5th constructor to reach that total, and only 2nd in the last 26 years, following Mercedes. As a measure of Verstappen's dominance right now, he is the first driver to lead 3 consecutive races from start to finish since Sebastian Vettel achieved the feat in 2012. Losers, Haas. The Canadian Grand Prix looked so promising for Haas after the checkered flag fell in qualifying, when Nico Hülkenberg was classified a superb 2nd. However, he was handed a 3-place grid penalty for a red flag infringement and then lost ground from 5th after he stopped out of sequence with the safety car. To add insult to injury, the race pace of the Haas didn't allow him to fight back. His teammate Kevin Magnussen had a frustrating afternoon, too, leaving the American team pointless for the 3rd race in a row. Winner, Alex Albon. Alex Albon delivered one of the best race weekend performances of the season in Canada, the Thai driver judging the conditions to perfection in Q2 to top the times and ultimately qualify inside the top 10. He made the most of a slippery Williams that was very strong on the straights to keep a plethora of cars behind him and then executed a one-stop strategy to perfection to secure a brilliant P7 and the fan-voted driver of the day accolade. It was Williams' best result since George Russell took 2nd at Spa in 2021 and helped the British team to leapfrog AlphaTauri into P9 in the Constructors' Championship, leaving them just 1 point behind Haas. Loser, Logan Sargent. This was a challenging weekend for Logan Sargent, the American rookie missing out on laps on a track he had never raced because of CCTV issues on Friday, in a Williams that wasn't upgraded because there were only enough parts for one car. He did a decent enough job in qualifying, especially considering this was only his 2nd time racing wet tires in F1, and showed good pace in the opening laps of the race before an oil leak forced the team to retire the car, as the data suggested it was starting to affect the power unit. He remains rooted to the bottom of the Drivers' Championship, having failed to score in any of the opening 8 races. Teammate Albon now P12 with 7 points. Winner, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was targeting a battle with Fernando Alonso in Sunday's race, and he got just that, leapfrogging him at the start to run 2nd. The 7-time world champion didn't have the pace to retain that position at the flag, but he was still quick enough to hold on to a podium, his 2nd in a row. 3rd was also his 10th career podium at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and moved him past the century of points mark this season. Loser, George Russell. It wasn't such a good day for the other Mercedes, with George Russell hitting the wall as he attempted to put pressure on Alonso for the final podium spot. Though the team got him back out, an issue with the brakes forced his retirement. That was his 2nd retirement of the season and dropped him behind Carlos Sainz into 6th in the Drivers' Championship. Winners, Ferrari. While 4th and 5th will not get Ferrari bosses excited, it did represent a step forward for the team in terms of total points and pure performance. Both Sainz and Charles Leclerc were able to run the medium tire long, generating consistent pace out of the tire for the duration of the stint. This is not something they've been able to do this year. Leclerc has only finished higher once this year, 3rd in Baku, while Sainz has classified 5th in 4 of the last 5 races. Losers, McLaren. McLaren started the Grand Prix with 2 cars inside the top 8, but a time penalty for Lando Norris for unsportsmanlike behavior plus a struggle for race pace and tire life meant they left Canada without any points. This is the 2nd race in succession they have failed to score. However, both Norris and Oscar Piastri felt the team had made a step forward in terms of race pace, as evidenced by Norris's strong end to the race. And they will both know they don't have long to wait until a big upgrade package hits the track. Winner, Fernando Alonso. Alonso was annoyed to have lost a place to Hamilton at the start, but he had the pace to snatch it back, and while he couldn't reel in Verstappen, this was the closest he's been all season to challenging his fellow double world champion. 2nd was Alonso's 6th podium in 8 races, which is twice as many as the number he's scored in his previous 7 seasons combined. Losers, AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri lost both cars in Q1, leaving them with a long afternoon ahead on Sunday afternoon. Yuki Tsunoda's early pace was encouraging, but he struggled thereafter. His teammate NYCK De Vries spent most of the race in traffic. Contact with Kevin Magnussen, along with a series of blue flags, meant he couldn't find a way to battle forward. The Italian team are now bottom of the Constructors' Championship and have failed to score in each of the last 4 Grands Prix. Winner, Valtteri Bottas. It's been a tricky run of races for Valtteri Bottas, but he was back into the top 10 for the first time since the opening race in Bahrain. The Finn fought his way into the top 10, and while he lost 9th to Lance Stroll on the line on the final lap, the score was fine reward for a solid performance. It was his 8th successive points score in Canada to move them clear of rivals Haas in the fight for P7.